Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Chinese New Year. Bitcoin and overall crypto still looking pretty darn good. So, let's talk about what's going on, what to expect this week, and let's answer this question. Will Bitcoin continue to head higher? All right, let's get started. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday. Let's take a look. Bitcoin is at 22.8. That's not too bad. This morning was about 23, but you can see we're consolidating a little bit after the spike upwards, and that's fantastic. Nothing to be complaining about. We want to see slow and steady gains, and we're inching closer and closer to this 24.3, which is a major resistance, and after that, well, we got a big gap up to 30,000. And today, a lot of alts are also in the green. You can see there's plenty of green today. Overall, BTC dominance came down slightly, which means the alts are making a little movement or a little gain against Bitcoin, I should say. So overall, pretty good. But what can we expect this following week? So what we do know is this. Bitcoin has been ignoring the overall market. The U.S. market has been doing its thing, like up and downs, but overall, Bitcoin seems to have really decoupled away from the U.S. market. But you know what? Still important to pay attention to. We have a lot of economic data this week. Again, manufacturing, services, durable goods, these will all show whether or not the U.S. economy has softened too much or just a little bit or maybe not enough. And these are all things that Paul wants to use as data for his next big rate hike that will be announced the first week of February. And then jobless claims, of course, is huge. Home sales is also big. Pending home sales, and we got another inflation reading, PCE. PCE, more or less, will be saying the same thing as CPI. CPI comes out first, then PCE. PCE is a different measurement, but overall, it measures like core inflation, core CPI. So it should not be a surprise. It should show that inflation is going down, right? We're heading down for 3 or 4 consecutive, I think it's 3 consecutive readings it's been down, right? So anyways, that's coming Friday. That's coming Friday. We also have a lot of earnings, including Tesla and Microsoft. Those are two that we need to pay attention to. Microsoft just announced huge layoffs, 10,000, right? Google announced 12,000 layoffs. Amazon announced 18,000. The only big tech that hasn't announced any layoffs is Apple. Okay, so they haven't, but we'll see. Maybe that's coming. Tesla also, a lot of people are looking forward to this. Tesla had a little bit of recovery from bottom, right? But still down 70% from the beginning of 2022. And their Q4 is coming out, and people are thinking it's not going to look so good because it wouldn't make sense that it was good because they had to provide deep price cuts in December, and also they didn't meet their sales expectations. So probably not good. But if you're a long-term Tesla believer, if it does go down, well, then it's a great time to be picking up. Just like when Bitcoin goes down, good time to be picking up. Well, all right, so that's what we have to look forward to this week. But overall, macro conditions seem to be getting better. Week over week, month to month, right? Basically, things do seem like they're improving. Even Morgan Stanley's CEO says, well, inflation has peaked. There's no question about it. It has peaked. And China's making a big pivot, basically opening up their economy, right? No more COVID lockdowns, no more quarantine. The testing, they basically said, screw it, all right? We had enough. Let's just have everyone get it, get herd immunity, and move past it, right? And I read something recently that said about 80% of China is infected with COVID right now. So I don't know if that's true. But as they open up, as production and manufacturers ramp up, and as supply chain issues dissipate, it's going to help as well. So macro conditions are definitely improving. And when macro conditions improve, well, that's good for markets and good at decreasing inflation. So overall, as we move forward in 2023, this is what we have to look forward to, a major recovery possibly. Maybe not this fast, not beginning of 2023, but maybe second half of 2023 could be pretty outstanding. So looking forward to that. As for Bitcoin, well, this is a really good kind of, I don't even know what you call this. I used to draw these all the time in school, but I forgot what you call this, where you have like intersecting circles. But this is a good one. Basically, Bitcoin is in the middle of all three. Digital monopoly, which is a digital network, and then you have commodity, and then you have money. And Bitcoin is all three. Okay, Bitcoin is a digital representation of gold, but it's also a payment system, and it's a network, right? So it's really hard to categorize Bitcoin and why it's so different from anything else out there. That's pretty cool breakdown. Also, I just talked about digital gold, right? People are noticing that Bitcoin has a bigger correlation with gold, and that could be good. Not that we want Bitcoin to be as stagnant as gold, but the fact remains that people are starting to recognize that Bitcoin can be a hedge against inflation and a safe haven, even though it can be very volatile at times. Very, very volatile, right? Especially on shorter time frames. But longer time frames, as you stretch out your horizon, you realize that there's no better safe haven or no better hedge against inflation than Bitcoin, which is why so many people that used to buy gold is now starting to buy Bitcoin. Good stuff. Missouri, Mississippi are introducing bills to protect rights to mine Bitcoin and run a node. We're starting to hear more about states being pro-Bitcoin, right? Not only like Texas, adding Bitcoin to balance sheet, very pro-Bitcoin mining. Recently, I think, was it New Jersey or New Hampshire? One of the states with new in it, not New York, said they also want Bitcoin mining because they want to improve their power grid. And now we're seeing other states join in, right? So states are now very pro-Bitcoin. That's fantastic. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So to answer this question, will Bitcoin continue to head higher? Well, so far, so good, right? We got improving macro conditions. We have states that are really pro-Bitcoin now, right? Looking to jump in. And you couple all these things with the recent price action, right? Which basically indicates that we're following previous cycles. We're following previous price actions, especially coming up from a bottom. And this one is looking at the 2018-2019 bottom. So if you look at this, it's almost, I don't know about almost identical, but showing the same pattern. Definitely. After we hit that bottom in 2018, 2019, we stood there for a long time and people gave up hope. People were still saying, no, there's no way it's going to come back up. And we had a rapid rise from 3,000 to 14,000, right? Now, we did fall after we hit 14,000, right? It was a huge pump because Bitcoin was suppressed for so long, right? So we had a huge pump. We did come back down, but eventually we continue higher and higher and higher, right? So that's what it's looking like right now. We were suppressed for so long, so many collapses, right? So we're mimicking that bounce right now. We had a terrific bounce for last 2 weeks. Can it continue? Definitely. And we can continue much higher. I mentioned about breaking through 24.3. If we do that, we could be right at 30,000 again. That would be a tremendous movement within a very short amount of time, right? I'll get to more of that at the end, but, So we have this to look forward to. We have the halving event to look forward to, but all the charts, the metrics, the models, the signals are all very bullish right now. Every single one. Every single one before indicated that a reversal was coming. And I've said that for months. People didn't quite believe it. They're like, you keep saying it, but there's no price movement. Now we're starting to see it, right? So all these things are indicating good things are happening. And lastly, just want to show this. As for Satoshis per US dollar, right? This kind of shows you the problem with inflation and why you need to buy something that outperforms inflation. Otherwise, you're just losing. $1 could have bought you 100,000 sats back in 2011. And you could see over time, it's been trending down, 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 down. And pretty soon, when Bitcoin hits 100,000 once again, $1 will only get you 1,000 sats. And as Bitcoin gets higher, it's going to go less and less and less. Part of that is due to USD just inflating and its buying power decreasing. And part of that is because Bitcoin continues to rise as more and more holders continue to hodl and DCA. So you don't want to bet against this. All right. So that's Bitcoin. So will it continue higher? I definitely think yes. Yes, it will. Shorter time frame, we could have some volatility. We could consolidate. We could even trend down a little bit. But long-term, 2023 is shaping out so far to be pretty good. And there are a lot of things to look forward to and a lot of drivers of Bitcoin. So these are all great things. Now, a few other coins or alts I want to talk about. I know Fantom has been moving pretty good. I've been a big fan of Fantom for a while. So this new Vault system that they're coming out with, I think will only help them. So they're taking 10% of their fees that they usually burn. This is just transaction fees. They're taking 10% of that. They're putting it into a vault so that they can fund new projects that's coming aboard. So, well, I forgot my camera, but I think that's pretty good. Why not? Essentially, it's a treasury, right? It's a treasury that is fueled by the network activity, right? They're taking 10% of what would normally be burned, but they're taking that, putting it into a treasury, and then funding new projects to come aboard, which in essence will increase network activity and increase the burning and the funding, right? So it's good. It's good. This is why Fantom is coming up. Andre Croy still leading the DeFi team on Fantom, right? And you still see their ecosystem is still improving. 40 million unique addresses, right? And they have a huge, huge DeFi ecosystem that will only get bigger as they move forward. So Fantom is doing pretty good recently, coming up in a big way. Also, another DEX, and I'm talking about Osmosis, the biggest one on Cosmos. They're coming out with something called Liquidity Outpost, which is basically a way for others within the Cosmos ecosystem to conduct transactions without leaving their DEX. Okay, so it's a way to kind of transact within Cosmos, use their liquidity while still being on other DEXs within the ecosystem. So I think why this is important is, yes, Osmosis is doing pretty well today, but overall, a lot of people are Cosmos fans, right? Cosmos is all about IBC, inter-blockchain communication, right? They have a lot of projects, a lot of chains, a lot of DeFi projects, right? And the main goal of Cosmos is to get them all talking to each other and communicating, and not only that, sharing liquidity. And Osmosis is helping to do that right now. So overall, pretty good for both. Pretty good for both. And then lastly, I want to talk about this because someone in the chat was talking about it. So Binance.com, not Binance.us. I guess one of their banking partners is going to make it so that they can't transfer, or users can't transfer USD that's below $100,000. So Binance is trying to replace that SWIFT partner with someone else. But in the meantime, you could still, does not affect withdrawals, does not affect buys if you're using your credit card or your debit card. But in the meantime, they're going to try to figure this out. And this doesn't affect Binance.us if you are in the US, just so you're aware. All right, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Overall, today is a quiet day. Again, another slow recovery day, and we'll see. We'll see what this day brings. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Looking at. Welcome everyone on Rumble. Got 100 people watching. Only 2 people on Twitch. What's going on with Twitch, man? 2 people on Twitch. TLC Chance. Hello. Man, it's impossible to grow on Twitch. All right. Let's see. Scrolling through. People are mentioning Doge is pumping. Is Doge really pumping? It's up good amount today. Doge has been pretty stagnant, trailing the pack recently. Does not move that much. Joel Richards, what's up, George? Been DCing hard for the last 3 years. Learned a lot from you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And congratulations. You've been DCing for the last 3 years since 2020. You've witnessed some up and downs. We had some major ups, major downs, right? But overall, DCA is the way. It's the way. All right, I'm still scrolling here. A lot of people talking about Doge today. Thoughts on Degen Zoo? No thoughts. I'm not even gonna answer that. Juno is pumping. Juno is also part of the Cosmos ecosystem. Cosmos has actually a lot of projects in there. Kava, which is also DeFi ecosystem, and kind of DeFi and Turn L1. They're also in Cosmos ecosystem. Binance Smart Chain is actually part of it, but Binance they don't want to open up IBC, but they could. Binance Smart Chain is actually programmed using the Cosmos SDK. Luna was before too, before they collapsed, but I mean, technically they're still alive. Cosmos actually has a lot. You could argue there's not a whole lot of usage for Atom, but once they open up interchain security, I think that could help. Sean Walker, that's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong taking some profits, especially if you need it, but nothing wrong to build up that emergency bag of cash, right? Even though we're coming up, still, I think it's important to have that 25, 30% cash on the side, right? It helps you continue to DCA, and it helps when a rainy day comes, and let's say we have some kind of FUD and drives the market down, well, you're able to take advantage. And I also think it helps as we climb higher, Because as we climb higher and higher, more and more people will be in the green and wondering when they should take profits. The easy way is to make sure that you have that 25, 30% in cash, right? If that cash pile starts shrinking because your overall portfolio is going up, well, then it's a good time to be selling off and increasing that cash bag, right? So I think that strategy, that's one of my newer strategies. And I think it makes a whole lot of sense both ways, up and down. Lyle, why is there so many different crypto coins? Shouldn't it only be 3 to 5 coins that could do everything? Well, that's just like, why is there so many publicly traded companies? Why don't we just have 3 or 5 publicly traded companies? Why do you need so many? Because they're all run by different people with different philosophies, different business models, different technology. Good afternoon. If you have to add a DeFi project to your portfolio, which one would it be? I think Lido is a good one. They're the leader now when it comes to DeFi, so I think that's a pretty good one. The Crypto White Belt Show. that's a long name, but congratulations. XRP will beat the SEC in March, I heard. Well, we will see. It's been rumored for a long time. XRP is up above 40 cents. That's good. Probably be above 50 cents soon, but still way off from its close to $4 high from 2017 or 18. Yeah, we'll see. I do hope that Ripple wins. We do want to win against the SEC. We don't want to give Gary any more power. Okay, no more power to Gary. Tian. Is that how you say your name? Tian. I bought a lot of Theta during 2021, which made my average go up and up. I learned a lot since then. Do you think Theta is going to go back to double digits the next bull run, given all the progress and big players involved? Yeah, I haven't given up on Theta. It's just unfortunate that they kind of disappeared I don't know about disappeared, but I just don't hear about anything. Even during their heyday, right? I felt like they were getting too diverse. Theta, I think, has a really good, their main platform is decentralized streaming, right? And they have these like, I don't know, I forgot if they call it console nodes or something. So they have these main nodes that they reserve for their big partners, and they do have some big partners. And then they have these like kind of edge nodes, which people can run also. And then they have another one now. They have these like different networks. No, I'm explaining that wrong. It's not different networks, but basically the same network, governed by different governance. Okay, different protocols. I think. No, I explained that wrong. I have to look into it and kind of explain it better. But anyways, going back to the point, they were all about decentralized streaming. They have their own like kind of Twitch competitor, right? The team has some huge advisors from people that created YouTube and Twitch, but they became distracted a little bit because they started going into NFTs, which really didn't help them at all. But they also have token generation, and they try to get into other things, and it just seems like none of that really panned out. So they just really need to grow their decentralized streaming platform and see if it could be a viable like Twitch competitor, right? Or viable YouTube competitor. Just don't hear much about that anymore. But I haven't given up on them. If the recent pumps were partly caused by BTC shorts being liquidated, what are the chances we see more dumps in the future? The two have nothing to do with each other. I don't think you quite understand what you're asking. BTC shorts being liquidated, why do they get liquidated? It's because you have a lot of people buying, right? So that has nothing to do with whether or not we're going to see greater chances of dumps in the future. They're uncorrelated. They're two separate questions. Can we see more dumps in the future? Yes. But it has nothing to do with BTC shorts being liquidated. All right? Hopefully that answers your question. R-Weave. I still like R-Weave. Daniel, I think Polkadot will get back to its previous highs. Gavin just upgraded Polkadot to offer basically more of everything. More chains, more DeFi, more NFTs. Basically, he just made it easier for Polkadot to do all these things and have more interoperability with other chains. Right? So now it's just a matter of getting these dApps to use it. Utero's asking for a good NFT project. I don't know of any. Well, the only one I've been in for a long time is NFTB, which is still on the Binance Smart Chain. I think they're trying to get to another chain, but that's the only one that I've ever invested in. The other ones, they're like, NFT projects or NFT marketplaces are kind of a dime a dozen. As for, I don't know if you're asking about for marketplaces or NFT projects itself. Because as for NFT projects itself, I don't really keep track of them. Does DOT have a round of auctions coming soon? That's a good question, Doge Botter. I thought all the auctions ended, but I don't know. That may not be true because originally I think the goal was to have like 125 side chains. I don't know why they chose to have a finite amount of side chains. It seems like it should just be infinite. And then people would vote on it, right? So I don't know. I have to look more into it. TLC, Chance. Don't worry about the friends that don't believe, right? When you're driving your Lambo, they'll realize they made a mistake making fun of you. Flash Gordon, I would stay far, far, far away from those projects. Are you saying Cody or Kopi? Corny and copious? Yeah, it's kind of too small. Too small for me to look at right now. Let's see. Do I trade with any leverage? If so, do you cap yourself at anything? When I get really bored, I do it sometimes. But I'll say I've lost way more trying to play with leverage than I ever gained. Too much. Embarrassed to say how much, but now it's like if I get very bored, I'm like, all right, I want to have some fun rather than go to casino. I'll throw like a 5x leverage play at something, right? And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I lost way more with leverage than I ever gained, for sure. Spuds Crypto, 50-50. Litecoin, XRP. Am I going to make? I think you'll live to regret that decision. Super cycle. I don't even really know what super cycle means anymore. People talk about it, but ultimately I think we're going to see variations of the 4-year cycle, right? As the entire market, as Bitcoin gets bigger, it's not going to be the same, the drawdown percentage, the upside percentage, they're not going to be as big as before, right? And the drawdown times or the bull run times, right? They could be extended or shortened, whatever. We're going to see variations of the 4-year cycle. But whether it's just a super cycle and we just continue forever on, I don't even know if that's a true definition of a super cycle. But I don't think that's the case. We'll just see. We'll see more the same, but slight variations. And over time, maybe they become bigger variations. Do you think USDC will flip USDT? I think someday, yeah. Yeah. They're not too far off. Only 23 billion away from each other. So it could definitely happen. Let's put this on screen right here. Cornucopias is on Cardano. Huge game, metaverse. Okay, good to know. Except, I don't know. There's been too many hyped up metaverses, and they're like nowhere close of completion. So I don't know. I'm a little wary of metaverse plays. The biggest metaverse I like is a sandbox, but that's more like a gaming thing, not just like a hangout place, right? Like I don't get like hangout metaverses. I get gaming ones. For example, one time I streamed to Decentraland, right? And I'm just walking around and I'm like, what the hell do you do in here? There's nothing. There's nothing going on other than you see some cool buildings and stuff, right? Like that doesn't appease me at all. But when you go in a sandbox, there's actually missions for you to do, more like World of Warcraft, something like that. That makes sense. That makes people want to keep going. But there's a lot of these metaverse plays that's been announced over the years. They just, they're far from completion. And even when they do complete, I don't even see the point to them, really. Marco, no, they're still up. I don't know what you're talking about. They're probably under live. And YouTube, if you're searching for old videos, there's like these tabs. Live is separated from segments and separated from everything else. Northern Beetle, I talked about it. It's not the entire SWIFT system. It's just a banking partner of Binance, right? So they're looking for another banking partner. This is not something that is global with every single exchange, nothing like that. So it just happens to be the banking partner that whatever their excuses, Binance will get over it. But this does not stop trading under 100,000. This does not stop withdrawals by any means, right? So it's just a temporary thing. Yeah, MTMD said his signature bank. So I don't know why so many people are trying to spread FUD about it like it's some big deal that's going to take down crypto. Hello from Hawaii. All right, guys. I think that let's call it a day. Overall, Bitcoin's doing good. 22.8. Happy Chinese New Year. We'll see what this week brings. A lot of earnings, big economic data. But overall, big movement with Bitcoin still. And a lot of adoption. And we're definitely going in the right direction. So all good things. All good things. All right. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tonight, I'll have a weekly recap video for you guys. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.